Welcome to Comfort Avenue number 2. This is my final video for tonight. I'm going to bed. Hopefully I can get up tomorrow and get some more studying in and decide if I'm going to go take my exam tomorrow morning or if I'm going to wait till Wednesday or Thursday just to be on the safe side to make sure that I have everything that I need to remember in my skull. So this video is about everything you'll ever need in a fight. Right? So as a martial artist, I'm going to speak from a martial arts point of view first. As a street fighter, I'm going to speak from a street fighter point of view because I was a street fighter before I was a martial artist, and you're going to have a lot of people that says, James is full of shit. Those are the same people who have never met me, who have never fought me, and delegitimizing people seems to be a thing, you know. So we're going to worry about that later. So as a martial artist, things you are going to need in a fight. First thing you're going to need is a clear head. No, you're going to need a clear head. Because if you lose your head, you lose your fight. You've heard the series of sayings like, fight smarter, not harder. That's true to life. You have to fight smarter, not harder. If your back's against the ropes and you've been losing and this is a point activity, then you're not doing something right. Which means you're not fighting smarter, you're fighting harder. And to avoid that complex is almost impossible when you have combat stress, when you have rage, when someone's hit you in the face in places that make you tear up, or being hit in the face in general just fucking all out sucks. So you're not going to want to be hit in the face, whether it's square, and they teach you how to protect yourself at all times, but at the same time, you know, you have 8 million things going on in your head as soon as the fight starts. So, let's go conveniently with martial arts. So martial arts. The ability to deflect a blow. This is a block, this is a block, this is a block and a counter, this is a block and a counter. So the difference between those was, this was Kung Fu, boom, boom, wasted motion, none. This is karate, boom, wasted motion, that counter. Because that counter takes too long. Granted, it's more powerful than this and this, or this and this, but this is more direct, boom, boom. You already know what your targeting is, where here, you conveniently have thrown a punch only for it to be countered if you're fighting a guy who knows the same karate techniques that you know. So you're throwing a right jab, he's throwing a right jab. Your Kung Fu block, boom, boom, versus your karate block and counter. Now your Kung Fu block and counter is right there. Where your karate block and counter, it's a little bit more work, a little bit more torque, and you're going to have to do that if you want to throw an effective punch. Where Kung Fu does not have the power behind the punch blocking, it has the counter. And your counter is going to be just as powerful as your counter here, but it's not going to be as wasted motion versus boom and boom. Where boom, boom is a lot quicker and more direct. Boom, you have a good chance of him countering your counter. Understand that. And that works with legs as well. So you know you have to know everything you have before you go into a fight. And again, your number one weapon is that thing in your skull called the brain. If you can walk away from a fight, I highly recommend that you do. I totally recommend that you do, because what is the fight going to prove? Why are you even fighting? No. There are a lot of people who can talk their asses into a fight and can't fight, and there's a lot of people who can talk their ass into a fight and talk their ass back out of a fight. I like to think that I can talk my way out of a fight. I like to think that. Now here's where this size disadvantage that I have is very convenient for everyone but me. Because I'm only 5'3½", a lot of times I can't talk my way out of a fight just because I'm short. And a lot of people think because I'm short, they're just going to have a run-of-the-mill with beating my ass. I have surprised a lot of people bigger than me because they thought they were going to have the run-of-the-mill at whooping my ass. Yeah, it's like, yeah, he's 5'3", he's 100 and nothing. That's your first mistake right there. He's 5'3", he's 100 and nothing. The second that you underestimate your opponent is the second that you have forfeited this fight. Because if you think for a New York minute because your opponent is shorter than you, that they can't whoop your ass, you just got yourself led down, I'm going to get my ass beat alley. The back streets. Now to think about having everything you need. Okay. We were going to stay with martial arts for a second. depending on the martial art that you have taken. Unless you have come through an MMA school, most martial arts have pretty much the same punches and kicks, except for certain martial arts that do not really have kicks. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is example number one on that. Because Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, when I was taught in the Army, there were no kicks. No. But the same thing with Judo. There's like maybe 1 or 2 kicks in Judo, and that involves a hip toss. No. Like if you want to kick somebody in the back of their shin with your foot or in the front of your shin, kick and then hip toss. That's about like the only kick I ever learned in Judo. I didn't learn front kicks and side kicks in Judo. I did not learn that shit. I learned they're pushing me, I pull them, I twist and I turn. They got me from the back. I kick stomp the back out of their shin, and hopefully that will work. And if they've picked me up, I kick stomp them in their knee. Because, I'm small, so people like that body slam effect. So they're going to fling me around. They want to body slam me and shit because they can't pick another person up that's their own size. So, of course, they can pick somebody up who's 5'3". So they're going to want to do that. That's like the natural thing of people who are bigger than you. They want to pick you up and slam you. Because, if you get slammed, it knocks all the air out of your body, and it makes it easier for someone to hit you when you're panicking because you can't fucking breathe. Rule number 2 is to not panic in the midst of the fight. You must keep your head if you don't want to wind up dead. Alright? Now we're going to go into the street fighting aspect of fighting. Alright? A lot of things are convenient with street fighting because you can grab the closest thing to you and crack somebody over the dome with it. Did you win honorably? Nah. Depends on what you consider honor. The thing about that, in the movies they make it seem so classically right. And in real life, when somebody hits you in the head with a fucking bottle, that shit don't always break. And that's some shit that a lot of people don't seem to understand. That shit does not always break. If anything, you could probably kill somebody with one hit, hitting them in the head with the bottle. You may not have meant to do that shit, but here's reality. Not everybody's as tough as they look. And you hit somebody in the back of the head with the bottle, you could probably kill them dead as shit. Right then and there. They don't explain that shit in the movies because it's a movie, and by now you would think you know about candy glass and shit like that, because candy glass is literally that. It's made out of candy, and it doesn't hurt the person that it's being used upon. Although some people have accidentally been cut by candy glass, that's a fact. But you can still, candy glass, it doesn't hurt you when you're using it, but anything at the right angle, conveniently in the right hands, is a weapon, even candy glass. But candy glass is made in Hollywood for the simple fact that, we don't want people to get hurt when we're filming dangerous bar fights and shit like that. Because glass in general is just a bad idea in the first place. Now, if you're not from the streets, you don't know about the broken glass in a sock. It's the same concept as a bar of soap in a sock. Only it's broken glass, which will cut the shit out of your ass. Because you're whirling it around in a fucking sock. Yeah. Yes, I've been in a few street fights. So I pretty much know what people will bring to a street fight. Broken glass bottle, a stick with a nail in it. I've seen all that shit. I've been in a couple of tussles. I have not been hit with a glass bottle. I have not been hit with a stick with a nail in it. But I have seen the shits being toted around. Sometimes it's a 2x4. Sometimes it's a simple wooden stick with a fucking nail through it. Don't ask. People have their devices, and that's just the way it is. But the thing with being a street fighter, in a street fight, anything and everything goes. Getting kicked in the nuts, getting kneed in the face. If that's how you have to win, it is called a street fight. Alright? And in a street fight, the difference between a street fight and a controlled environment. In a street fight, there are no rules. Survival of the fittest. That's it. If you're fighting, doing like fight clubs and shit like that, and it's not controlled and it's not padded and it's full contact, they're not gonna let you put on fucking helmets. You may conveniently have some of these muscle training gloves that I wear all the time. You may conveniently have them, because most people want some kind of hand protection. But 9 times out of 10, when that fight starts, you're not worried about what the fuck's on your hands or your feet. And also, no one's gonna like kick off their shoes and shit in a street fight. You're like, hold on, hold on, wait. Let me take my shoes off. Fuck that. You're in a fucking street fight. You're gonna keep every piece of clothing on just in case the cops come. You're gonna want to be able to escape without going to jail. However, they're gonna catch somebody, and somebody's gonna snitch. And if they know you, they're gonna come to your house. So it's not really like a convenient thing to do in the first place. Do not get into street fights unless you don't really have an option. And if you are in a street fight and you don't know how to fight, just apologize to the person and try to walk the hell away. And if that doesn't happen, may God have mercy on your soul and use your brain. You know, if this guy's swinging at you and he has your back against the wall, you know, try to time his punches. And when he throws the punch, try to sidestep so he hits the wall. He hits the wall, he breaks his hand, he's done fucked up. So he's going to be mad, he's going to try it again. Get out of the way. So he's going to fuck up. It's not going to be that smooth as what you just seen me do. It's not going to happen because in the real world, people swing. They don't think at where they're swinging. They just swing. And when they're swinging at you, and you are not a street fighter, but you are a martial artist, you have been taught, depending on your style, for karate, boom and boom. But, you know, if this guy also knows karate, he's going to counter your counter with a low block or a high block. He's going to try to bat it away, which is why the kung fu block is a little bit more convenient. So when they're throwing that jab, you block and you get to the outside. Where kung fu, you get to the outside. Karate, you get to the inside. So you have to figure out what one works better for you. Now, I will be honest, in the heat of battle, it ain't going to matter because you're not going to be thinking clearly enough to say, all right, I'm going to fight this guy with kung fu. He's going to throw this punch. I'm going to block, and I'm going to get to the outside. That's what you're going to be thinking until the shit actually happens. When the shit actually happens, it's going to be boom, boom. You know, you're going to be doing everything you can to defend yourself, and you're going to make sure that you're not thinking, how would I handle this in the dojo? You're thinking, I'm in the street, the danger's real, I need to be ready to go. And that's how it's going to work. And the thing about training in the dojo, you have to also learn how to train in the street. You know, I'm not saying go out and pick a street fight. Don't walk up on someone and say, hey man, I'm doing kung fu. I need to know if this shit works. Because you're going to find out really hard what works and what does not. Especially if you come up with somebody who has a bad attitude. They don't like people who do martial arts and they just want to have somebody to fight. You know, you'd be surprised at how many people have literally thought because they know kung fu that they're going to go out and pick somebody and think that it's going to work over peachy smooth. No, don't do that. You know, practice. But know your environment. When you're practicing in the house, you know you're in the house. When you're practicing out in the park, you know you're in the park. But examine that park and think of what you can use in that park if your skill set isn't as great as someone who is a black belt or an ace or an MMA fighter. You know what your skill set is. Before you get into a fight, know if you actually can fight. That's one of the things I tell everybody all the time. Because there's a lot of people, and I said this at the beginning of the video, there's a lot of people who can accidentally talk themselves into a fight. They're not always able to talk themselves out of the fight. Because you can piss off the right person on the right day, at the right time, and that person's going to want your ass. So let me tell you a little story about that. Alright, so I think I was either in the 2nd grade or the 3rd grade. Maybe even the 4th grade. I don't really know what I did to this kid. But I had another kid who kept trying to save me. And the kid lived in the projects with us. And he was mixed like me, but he didn't have as much mixed features. He had very pretty eyes. I'm not saying that as a gay man. I'm saying that as a straight man. The man had very beautiful eyes. No homo. Anyway, he had very beautiful eyes. That's about the only way you can know that he was mixed. He didn't have people hair. He had light skin like mine. And he wanted to beat my ass. Somebody lied to this cat and said that I said something about him and his mom. I didn't know his mom. I didn't give a damn about his mom. But for some reason, every day after school, even though I knew martial arts, this dude wanted to beat my ass. I'll get to the end of that story in a minute. But for better of maybe 3 weeks, this dude haunted my ass down. I mean, he hunted me down all through West Haven. Wherever I was going, he'd always try to show up and fight me. And every time he showed up to fight me, I had a guardian angel, whose name will remain nameless, just like the guy I'm speaking of, would grab him and send me running home. I didn't want to go home because I just wanted to take the ass whooping and get the shit over with. But the guardian angel, he's like, nah, you need to go home. You need to go home. You need to go home. And every time for like 2 weeks, this dude wanted to beat me up. So, years later, we never fought. It never became anything big or bad about it. After 2 weeks of getting snatched up, I guess the guardian angel told him that if you mess with him, you're going to mess with me. And the guardian angel was bigger than both of us, but we were all in the same grade at Birmingham School. And the guy just never bothered me no more. So many, many years later, which for now it's many, many years backwards, he was dating one of my cousins. And so, unlike other people, if we've had some beef, I'm going to ask you what the hell the problem was. I'm not trying to stir up the trouble. I'm not asking for a fight that we didn't need to have in the first place. What I'm asking is, why did you want to whoop my ass? What did I do to you? Come to find out that somebody told him that I had said something about his mama. I don't know what they told him that I said about his mama, but they said that I had said something about his mama. And it must have been something really, really bad because this dude wanted my ass some kind of bad. Truth be told, I didn't even know the kid existed until he started hunting me down. Which goes back to a lot of people can talk their way into a fight and can't talk their way out. Now, I didn't run from him. I was made to leave by the guardian angel, who again will remain nameless, just like the guy. Kept telling me, nah, you're not going to fight him. You're not going to fight him. And I was like, dude, only two things can happen. You either going to whoop my ass or I'm going to whoop ass. It's just that simple. But we never got to fight. We never got to fight. But there was no need to fight because, one, I was innocent. I never said nothing about nobody's mama. I never did that. I never talked about nobody's mama in my lifetime before I was 21 years old. After I was 21, I said a lot of things about people's mamas. And fortunately, it's never come back to those people, and even if it has, most of the shit that I said about their mamas, this shit was fucking true. So it really would be them fighting me over some shit that was true. And you can't get mad about the truth, because the truth is the truth. And so, when I talked to him, he's like, man, when I was trying to fight you, I was told by somebody, and I don't remember who the hell he told me, but he did tell me who told him that I said something about his mom. And I said, okay, we like in the 3rd, 4th, or the 2nd grade, and you let somebody else tell you that a kid who didn't know you said something about your mama. He said, hey man, I was young and I was dumb, and you know how black people roll. I said, yeah. And you know how many times people have said shit about my mama the whole time we were in school, how much I have a white mama? I said, man, I never let that shit bother me. I said, and if you talk about your daddy, I said, see, that's a horse of another color. If you talk about my dad, they ain't know my dad, and I would get mad. And then my dad and I had a talk. And my dad said the same thing that I just said. Son, they don't know me. They don't know nothing about me. Why are you getting mad over some bullshit? And that changed me. I started focusing more on martial arts and more right on wrong. Now, granted, my dad and I did butt some heads a few times about the kid that lived next door who tried to beat me up because he was Mike Tyson and I was James Williams Jr. Outside of that, we didn't really have too many problems. But the thing about fighting, you need to know that everything you have, God already gave you. You have your hands, you have your elbows, you have your knees, and you have your feet. Now, how you choose to use them is going to determine the outcome of this fight. Every now and again, I get a really long hair. Now that's here or there, but it doesn't match the other hairs. It's not gray or anything. It's just one long hair that doesn't match the other hairs. Anyway, if you know how to fight, you don't have a whole lot of worries when you get into trouble. If you don't know how to fight, you have a whole lot of problems, especially if you're the guy who doesn't know how to fight but like to flap your gums. All right? So here's rule number 1 on that. 1, if you don't know how to fight, keep this thing under your nose and above your chin shut. Or You can't get mad when somebody conveniently rearranges your dental work. So if you can't fight, keep your mouth shut. And 2, if you can fight, and I mean you're really good at fighting, you should probably try to avoid fighting in the streets and try to make it a career. So that you can get paid doing what you love versus, oh, I'm just going to walk around the street and just start macking people. Okay, assault is against the law. And the only thing you're going to mac after you mac somebody is jail time. Not too long ago, I came at y'all with a report about a kid who mollywopped a dude in the back of the head, and that dude went to the hospital and he later died. So they charged the kid with manslaughter. You know, they didn't charge him with murder because a lot of people don't think that one hit can actually kill someone. But see, the force of an average blow differs from body to body. If you're fighting someone who's never had any head trauma or have never been in a fight in their life, it's a good chance that you will probably knock them dead with that one-hit quitter, especially if you don't know body mechanics. So we're going to go and make a part 2 to this just to be on the safe side.